happy about it. You've heard about the defunding of Planned Parenthood for many, many, many years. You've heard about the overturning of Roe versus Wade for many, many, many years. President Trump made a big move and started the process of defunding not just Planned Parenthood, but other organizations like it that were receiving. Happy about it. You've heard about the defunding of Planned Parenthood for many, many, many years. You've heard about the overturning of Roe versus Wade for many, many, many years. President Trump made a big move and started the process of defunding not just Planned Parenthood, but other organizations like it were receiving tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's right. And what we're seeing here now is that the president is delivering on that promise. This was, if you remember that Doge op-ed that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy co-authored in the Wall Street Journal, saying, here's what we will be doing. That one of the main things that was in that was specifically mentioned was defunding Planned Parenthood. Now what we're seeing is that they expect very soon the president to move forward with an order that will stop HHS family planning funds, as they're called, grants that go to Planned Parenthood and other, at the end of the day, abortion providers. And what we're going to see is initially about $27 million grant will be paused initially. They get those about several times a year. Those funds come up. And so it's over $100 million a year just from that. But then you also take into account things like the Mexico City policy that he already reinstated, which froze funds for abortion providers overseas. That's another 100 million or so. So we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money that is going to abortion providers that will be frozen. And what Planned Parenthood always says, and they play this accounting shell game where they say none of those dollars directly pay for abortions. They pay for other services we provide. So therefore, they are saying that the money that comes from outside nonprofits or foundations or whomever is giving money to Planned Parenthood, those dollars are paying for the abortions. Yeah. The government money is not, when in reality, money is fungible.
Okay, everyone knows how businesses work, okay? And this is how this business works, which is you may say that, but you know by funding something, you are also then freeing up money to fund other things you're doing. And again, it's just a shell game. I saw some celebrity who's more conservative leaning now saying, fine, you know what? If you love abortion and you want that, go ahead and fund it. Why do you want to force not just your government to pay for it, but people who really are against it? Do you want to fund things that you're against? This has been so common sense to get rid of this. And now in a world where Roe versus Wade does not exist, where it is back to the states, and where states like Tennessee, states like Alabama, some of these others that are more conservative leaning are saying, like, they have very strict abortion laws right now. Life of the mother, it's about it. And, maybe the exceptions. Those people do not want to be funding this. And they made it clear. They made it clear with their vote. So how hard is it to wrap your head around the fact we should not be paying for this? And I think you have a moment now where President Trump, even Elon Musk, back when they were doing the Doge days, that is a top topic. And I think that you should be excited about that in some ways, that these campaign promises are being kept.
Well, and here's the two things I want our audience to be prepared for. One, because they continue this lie that it pays for everything else, not abortion, all the headlines and the things that are posted on social media is going to be President Trump cuts healthcare access for women. President Trump and Elon Musk cut contraceptive services for women. They're going to make it seem like, but once again, as though that should be of course you can't cut that from government funding. I mean, there's a lot of issues with taxpayer funding of that as well, but they're going to make it seem one-sided. But the second is that we know every single one of these funding cuts immediately is sued in a friendly court to the left and trying to get a freeze on it, saying, you are not allowed to cut money to Planned Parenthood. Our attorneys already are preparing our filings for when this comes down and hits courts so that we can fight this in court.
That's right. We got our pro-life team together. They are already working on this, as Will said. And the way they can do that is because, look, we have the best of the best. I truly believe that. We have an incredible legal team, incredible media team. We're able to pay for that because of people like you who support the work of the ACLJ on a regular, ongoing basis, or even during things like our Life and Liberty Drive. So, of course, we encourage you to do that right now as we are preparing to have to battle this out in court. We know this is one of the top topics for us. You know, we're doing in Massachusetts. You know what we've been doing with our Choice Begins Here campaign. You've seen all of this, whether that is going for the hearts and minds or whether that's going for the law. We're a part of it right now. And you need to be a part of it as well. Because listen, they may say, Planned Parenthood may say, oh, well, it doesn't go directly to abortions. Okay, how's the Planned Parenthood location doing in your area if you're in one of those areas that went pro-life with their votes? Most of ours here in the state of Tennessee closed up shop. They don't exist anymore. Why? Because their number one business was no longer legal in the state. So that should say it all. But you are right that the ACLJ team is in action. We are already preparing to file. Look, that's definitely going to go to the Supreme Court, I would say. I mean, I can't say definitely, but it was very likely that is going to happen. We're already working on that. So right now, you see the QR code on your screen. This is the Life and Liberty Drive. And for this month of March, we really focus on that life part because we think that that's the most important part. The most important part, sure, we got liberty, but before you can have liberty, you got to have life. You got to be able to have an opportunity. And right now, there's an incredible amount of ACLJ donors ready to match your gift. Your donations are doubled because we know when President Trump puts in this funding freeze, it's going to block taxpayer funding of abortions, as we see it happening right now, that we are going to have to respond and respond aggressively. We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned.
If I were to move, they couldn't help me move anymore. So it's super cool as a single mom that literally I got a letter in the mail yesterday that told me that my housing stuff was like defunded and they can't help me with any of my bills anymore, including electric and gas. And if I were to move, they couldn't help me move anymore. So it's super cool as a single mom that literally can't work a ton because I have my son. So that's sick. And my son's in early intervention, and yesterday they came and they told me they can't help me with gas cards anymore, which put gas in my car so that way I could take my son to appointments and play groups and literally like the grocery store. My phone shuts off tomorrow. My internet's off. I can't pay my electric. And then they just defunded all of that stuff. And now I don't get help with anything. So what am I supposed to do? My son doesn't qualify for any daycare. He has to start preschool till September. I work 2 days a week because that's when I have a babysitter. And those 2 days are like enough to buy. I just don't get how people are doing it by themselves. I don't. And then how are you going to give me a little bit of help? And then you're like, oh, by the way, one day we're just going to send a letter and we're going to be like, we can't do that anymore. We can't help you. My income hasn't changed. The help I have hasn't changed. But you.